The process of setting up our development environment is pretty much the same every year, but some small things change. So we always have to check on the guide about how we set up our development environment. And they do some good documentation here. There's some solid instructions we can start with. And for us, it starts with installing Java. And keep in mind what version of Java is currently allowed. After that, we install Eclipse. And while that's downloading, I'm also going to get Git. So download the Git bash for Windows will be fine. And for Eclipse, we're going to select Java Developer is fine. Java EE means Enterprise Edition. We don't need that. So just normal Java SE Standard Edition is fine. All of this looks okay. Right. And as for the Git installation, there's a lot of custom options that you can tinker with, but keeping all the default will do you just fine. Okay, so now that Java is installed, Eclipse is installed, and Git is installed, we can open Eclipse for the first time, and then we have to set a few things up. The workspace is it's essentially an environment for all of your dependencies. Think of it as temporary memory of sorts to hold all of the things that you installed, all of the configurations. You're going to set this up, and this is your Eclipse workspace for FRC. We won't have multiple workspaces. If you work on different types of complex projects, and it might be helpful to switch workspaces so that the development environment adjusts to the type of project. For our purposes, we're just going to work on one largely the same type of project, so we're going to keep the same workspace the whole time. So this is our default. We're not asking again. So I have to make sure that our Eclipse workspace is set up with the right version of Java. So we can go here and go to Java, and we need to find, let's see here. Yep, just the install JRE links up to the right one, so that's what we're looking for. Next up, we need to install the WPI libraries to Eclipse, and so we'll do help, install new software, and we can just paste in the link that they give us, and there we go. We just check this box, and we can install these guys. Alright, after you accept a few things and move on, Eclipse will reboot, and you'll know it worked if you now have a WPI lib drop-down option here built into Eclipse. And so that's the preliminary setup. Now what we need to do next is install Strongback. If you go to this link or go to just search Strongback, and you should be able to find a link to this download page. So we're going to download the Windows zip. Strongback actually recommends you put this file right into the root folder of your profile. So copy that there. Wherever you end up putting the file, you have to make sure that your path can see it. So just search for Advanced System Settings, select Environmental Variables here, and then inside the system variables, here's the path, and we are just going to edit that and make sure that we need to have C:, users, and then wherever you put whatever folder, administrator. So that's the folder where that file is found, and so it will now be able to add that. It's now added to the path, so it should be able to see that when I am trying to use console commands. Otherwise, if I use the term Strongback, Windows won't know what that means, because that's been included in the system. Now, if the system refers to that word, it knows what library, what tools that I'm talking about. So I typed in Strongback info, and it was able to give me the information about Strongback. Now I need to install the Strongback Java library here. Okay, so 1.2.2 was already installed, so now I just did Strongback install, which will install my Java library here. So that's what's going on now. Now that that's done, if I were to press Strongback info again, I would now see this information that it does look like it's fully installed. But notice that it says that it doesn't know what team number we're in. I'm just going to create a new project in Eclipse, and because I've installed WPI-lib, this is one of the options here, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick really any one of these. Example robot Java project. It's a handy thing to have around anyway. And now it asks me to note my team number. And yeah, these are actually super handy references. So this is good. So we're going to use tank drive. Press finish here. And now this will be a reference that I'll use. I'll actually keep this open. I'll start another project, but I might just keep stuff like this around as a reference. Now you'll also notice if I go back to here, it now knows my team number. So now that that's done, let's try importing our code onto this system. And I'm just going to go to File, Import, and let's import the project from Git. This is our file up on GitHub, and so this is the link that I need to save, and I'll use that as my import. So import from Clona URI, and I already grabbed that one, and all of that looks fine. I'll only need the master branch, and origin is fine, all of that's good. Okay, and now we have our source code added up here as well. The last thing that I need to do for this install is not anything that you have to do at home on your personal computer if you're developing this. This is only needed for our driver station. So I'm going to install all of the stuff from this, and that'll be it.